They say silence is the absence of sound. But at Haddo Lake, silence had a weight. It had a voice. Elias didn't come here just for the quiet. He came to escape a memory that followed him like a shadow. But in these woods, shadows don't just follow. They wait. Among the rotted wood and black silt, something caught the light. An antique radio. Its casing was dark oak, but the dials, they felt like polished bone. No brand name, no battery compartment, no power cord. It was freezing to the touch, a cold that bit into his skin. Yet Elias couldn't let go. He didn't find the radio. The radio found him. The static cleared for a split second. A sharp, crystalline sound echoed through the cabin, the sound of a mug shattering. Elias looked around. His coffee was still on the table. But 5 seconds later, without a breeze or a tilt, the mug slid off the edge. It smashed against the floor in the exact rhythm he had just heard. Elias realized then, this machine wasn't picking up stations. It was picking up the future. Elias didn't sleep that night. He couldn't. The radio didn't just play sounds. It emitted a low-frequency hum that vibrated in his very marrow. Around 3:14 a.m., the static died down, replaced by a voice. It was crisp, professional. The voice of a local news anchor from a station that had gone off the air 20 years ago. Emergency crews are still searching for the remains of a local resident at Haddo Lake, the voice said, cold and detached. Authorities say the cabin showed signs of a violent struggle, though no forced entry was found. The only thing left behind was a strange, rhythmic tapping recorded on the victim's own equipment. Elias felt the blood drain from his face. The anchor mentioned his name. He mentioned the date, January 16th. That was tomorrow. The recording was a symphony of terror. He heard his own voice screaming for mercy. He heard the sound of wood splintering, but not from the door, from the floorboards beneath him. And underneath it all, a sound that shouldn't exist. The sound of 1,000 wet, heavy wings beating in a small room. The radio wasn't just predicting the future anymore. It was broadcasting his inevitable end, inviting it into the present. Desperate for answers, Elias tore through the cabin. Hidden beneath the floorboards, he found a ledger belonging to the man who lived here before him. A man who had simply walked into the water in 1952. The notes were frantic. They spoke of the black signal. According to the ledger, the lake wasn't a body of water, but a lid covering something ancient that communicates through vibrations. The radio wasn't a tool, it was a translator. It was a bridge between the physical world and a place where time doesn't flow. It rots. The notes were frantic. They spoke of the black signal. According to the ledger, the lake wasn't a body of water, but a lid covering something ancient that communicates through vibrations. The radio wasn't a tool, it was a translator. It was a bridge between the physical world and a place where time doesn't flow. It rots. By 4 a.m., the sound was no longer just in Elias's ears, it was in the walls. The radio's green light grew blinding, pulsing in sync with a heavy, wet thumping coming from the lake. Then, the first physical manifestation happened. The static coming from the speakers began to take shape. Fine black dust, like iron filings, started pouring out of the radio's grill. It didn't fall to the floor, it suspended itself in the air, knitting together like a swarm of microscopic insects, forming a jagged, shifting silhouette in the center of the room. "Open the dial, Elias," they whispered in a perfect, horrifying harmony. "Let the rest of us in." Outside, the lake began to boil in the freezing cold. Something massive was dragging itself across the shore. It wasn't walking, it was vibrating its way toward the cabin, a mass of static and shadows that blurred the very trees it passed. Then he saw it. Standing in the mist was the figure from the ledger, the broadcaster. It stood 10 feet tall, its limbs thin as wire, its body draped in what looked like rotted funeral shrouds. It had no face. Where a head should be, there was only a void of flickering white noise. As it touched the window, the glass didn't break. It turned into a liquid gray sludge. The entity wasn't breaking in. It was rewriting the cabin's reality to match its own. The frequency was winning. Elias tried to scream, but the sound that left his throat wasn't human. It was a burst of high-pitched electronic interference. He wasn't just losing his life, he was losing his resolution. The broadcaster stood in the center of the room now. It didn't move, but the closer it got, the more Elias's memories began to delete themselves. He forgot his wife's face. He forgot the sound of his own name. He was being overwritten by the black signal, replaced by the endless, meaningless hum of the void. With one final, agonizing click, the world went dark. But it wasn't the darkness of death. Elias felt himself being compressed, stretched, and folded into a million different frequencies. He saw the lake from above, then from below. He saw the past, the present, and 1,000 terrifying futures where the broadcaster stood over 1,000 other cabins. He wasn't Elias anymore. He was a wave, a signal, a prisoner of the dead air. The lake is quiet now. The water has risen, hiding the secrets of Haddo Lake once more. But if you're ever driving through the woods of northern Maine and your car radio starts to act up, if the music fades away and is replaced by the sound of a man sobbing in a language made of static, don't try to fix the signal. Switch it off. Throw the radio away. Because Elias is still out there, broadcasting his pain to anyone who's foolish enough to listen. And the broadcaster? He's always looking for a new station.